actually didn't start in culinary. I was actually in environmental engineering, and I took a year off, and then in the mornings I actually worked for free in a sushi place, and then at night I would work at a French dining place. To be able to go and learn and grind, sweat, and acquire the skills, I think that 1 year was really the year where I set my mind to a certain type of goal.
This is ash, leek ash. It adds a little bit of sweetness to the mash. And because it's a very heavy dish, this is something we call red frill. We give it a little bit of a peppery taste at the end, just to finish off the taste.
When I was young, I kept adding things. Now, I try and take away as much as possible. After working in Montreal for about 3 years, I started working at Aska, which is a Michelin star restaurant, and then moved to Aquavit. When I was young, like, oh, so you're the sous chef? I'll eat you alive in like a month. Just give me a month. But as I grow a lot older, I realized you're not really racing against anyone. You're running against yourself. If you're not happy with yourself, and if you're not happy with the food that you're giving to the people, and your staff are not happy with the type of food you're doing because you're not happy with yourself, then you're never going to be able to achieve those awards. You're never going to be able to portray yourself naturally as a person. Today I'll be cooking cannelloni. It's kind of like a hot rolled lasagna, but the one that I'm doing right now is a truffled cannelloni.
It depends on the flour, on the egg that day. Sometimes it needs a little bit more, sometimes a little less. You straight put all the flour together. There's nothing on my hands, right? Because if there's stuff on your hands, then it's too watery, or the dough is too dry that it's putting moisture into your hands. You want to have like a nice balance of moisture in your hands and also on the dough. You can make this with a machine. You can. Like, there's a lot of pasta machines these days. When I went to Kaon, everything was done by hand. Everything. Beating egg whites is done by hand. Making noodles for like 60 people a day is done by hand. And it was so frustrating at first. But then I kind of realized that everything is done by this like kind of natural feel. And the chef said to me, like, how did our ancestors cook back then? They didn't have stuff like this. Even with modern technology, there's just some things that are just better done with your hand. Touch of olive oil to keep it from drying out. Like that. We make this a day before, and then we let it rest. We come in the morning, and then we apply it out. So these are basically the pre-rolled. They're applied out, and they're boiled, and then they're shocked in ice water.
For CORSO, I used to work at Kaon, traditional fine dining Korean. Food that you never really thought would be in dining, but the chef convinced me, if you're gonna live in Korea, you need to know what ingredients are from Korea.
So these mushrooms have been pickled with rosemary and shallots.
This new culture of chefs, and they come back to Korea, would term their food French Korean. And he just didn't really like that fact because the chef was Korean. Working with him for a long time, he struck a big impact on me. So now in CORSO, we just say ingredients from our brand.
Using the radish and yuzu together with the pickled tomato and minari on top of the fish, There's something called cepi. It's a type of pepper, but it's a bit more on the citrusy side. We're very French focused, but we use ingredients that this country can give us, and certain things are actually done in a very, very Korean way.
All these ingredients, they're local ingredients. So if you look at my food, it's predominantly French. But because of my experience with Gangwon, I use a lot of ingredients that are local to our country. That's just the type of food that I want to portray.